Hello, and welcome to another episode of Winning Where It Matters. My name is Kyei Amoako, and I want to start off with a story. Over the weekend, I was in Walmart picking up a few items, and it's back to school weekend. So I see in one of the aisles a mother and a son checking off the list and picking up stuff, putting them in their cart. Noticing what the mother was doing, I walked up to go say hello to them and just taking an opportunity to remind a young man to appreciate his mother's investment in him. And so I did say to him, your mother's spending a lot of money on you. And he smiled. And do you realize that she's not just spending money on you, she is investing in you? And he smiled back with a blank stare. And I asked, do you know the meaning of investing? And tried to explain, but he couldn't pretty much put his thumb on it. And I asked again, do you know the difference between investing and spending? And that was a little too much for an 11-year-old, I realized. So I gave it to him as an assignment. I said for him to go home, look up the meaning of that, and write it down on a letter to his future self. And hopefully, a year from now, we could reconnect and have a conversation about that. Now, it wasn't until I had left the store and was driving home that the depth of the question that I asked the 11-year-old dawned on me. And as I thought about the difference between spending and investing, I realized that not only an 11-year-old needed to look it up, I needed to look it up because I thought we could all use a reminder of the difference between spending and investing. So I looked it up. Spending, using resources with no expectation of growth or a return. Investing, using resources with an intentional purpose and expecting growth, improvement, or impact. They both have to do with using resources. One has no expectation of growth or return, and the other one has an expectation of growth, improvement, or impact. Now, why does this matter? Because we use the phrase spend time. We use it very colloquially and we use it in everyday conversations. And this awareness is probably going to bring you to a pause whenever you think about saying, I'm going to spend time doing something. Because maybe we tend to spend time in places that we should be investing time. And it's easy to think about spending when it has to do with time and money, but it's with all resources, including your energy, your attention, anything that's of value to you. So hopefully, this conversation is bringing to your awareness the difference between spending and investing. And next time you have an opportunity to use any of your resources, think about it in the context of whether you are spending it or whether you are investing it, because sometimes it helps to know the difference. It's okay to sometimes just spend things, but it's also helpful to know the difference so that you're not spending time thinking you are investing time. And then when there's no return, you get a little upset that there was no return. If you didn't invest, but you just spent it, there may not be any return. Now, here's something to think about, right? When you're doing that assessment to decide whether you're spending time or investing time, I want you to think about three questions, right? Ask if this choice will bring value beyond today. Ask also if that investment, that's using of that resource, will grow or improve something important in your life. But most importantly, think about if that use of that resources is something you'll be glad you did a year from now. My goal for this episode was to help bring difference to light between investing and spending and how we apply that to the most important things to us, our time, our money, our energy, our attention. And I think we did that. And I also gave you three questions to think about when you think about evaluating whether you are spending time or investing time and whether you're investing or spending any of your resources. So we'll wrap it up here and thank you for your time. If you liked what you heard and saw, hit the like button, click on the share button to share with others so they could join in the party. And if you have a comment, put in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It's free. And if you would like to connect with me outside of here, go to kyeamoako.com. You'll find my contact info over there. I believe in you, and I hope you do too. See you next time.